Hello, world! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're tuned in to another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of geek news, reviews, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, Chris, are you still doing a podcast? Yes. As a matter of fact, this is simulcast to a podcast. Streamed live every weekday. You could watch me live. We do 4 live streams every weekday. And to join, you just need to become one of the super nomies. You're all my nomies, but super nomies get extra stuff from me. Starts at $2 a month. Extremely reasonable. You get a lot of things ahead of time, and of course, access to the live streams and other things as well. I just recorded a CPU episode about sweaty balls. I did try sweaty balls for the first time. Unfortunately, the mic was too hot, and so I'm going to have to re-record it. What I'm likely going to do is record my sweaty balls review as a show and tell video. It's not going to be a CPU. So if you did tune in, that behind-the-scenes video turned out just fine because it was using a different microphone, using the webcam view rather than the camera view that you might see right here. But it's just a decision I had to make. I apologize for that, but yeah, I'll do it as well as I possibly can. I mean, they're sweaty balls. It wasn't too difficult to do sweaty balls. They were good. They really were. I am looking forward to having more sweaty balls in my mouth. Okay, so now I want to start out this show by telling you that I've got some stuff that I've just received. Look at this. I'm so happy to have this. I found it. I didn't know it was there until I went looking for it naturally. In fact, I did a Q&A video today that I'm going to have to put off until doing it again next week because the mic was too hot for that. But I talked about how I find coupons. I didn't find a coupon for this, but it did have the AT-AT driver in the set, and I'm trying to complete my AT-AT driver figure collection, and this would be a different one that I don't think is molded the same way, certainly not the same paint application as the other AT-AT drivers that I have. And it's kind of a bonus because I get a TIE Fighter pilot and Forlom. I always want to call this character Zuckuss, though, right here, because Zuckuss is how he was packaged by Kenner years ago. Forlom, you might remember, as a matter of fact, is the Forlom. No, hang on. I gotta find it. Where did I stick that? There we go. Okay. So, when I was a kid, this was Forlom. For love of money. For love of money. That's what Forlom is short for. But this is actually Zuckuss. And I believe this is actually Forlom. So, I have Forlom now. Not the old Forlom, that's Zuckuss. This is not Zuckuss, Forlom. Confused? Yeah, so was I when I found that out. No doubt. That was a little nutty. But the reason why I'm pointing that out, number 1, I've received it. Number 2, it'll be a part of my AT-AT driver figure roundup video. Number 3, because Star Wars news rocked the world today. Seriously, I think it was a huge news. And I do plan on doing a Q&A video around the particular topic of the first standalone film, which is titled Rogue One. Pretty fun name. But there may be, I don't want to say controversy. Some people seem to be taking issue because the protagonist in the film, or whoever this main character is, we don't know much about it, is female. And I'm like, cool, works for me. Is it Star Wars? Yes, I'm interested. Sign me up, I'm in. But I did want to talk about that and the ramifications of it within Star Wars fandom, so I don't want to talk about that too deeply. But that's the name of the standalone film. They're going to begin production soon. We also got a release date for The Force Awakens. The sequel to The Force Awakens, Episode 8, is set to be released. Let me make sure I get the date exactly right. Coming to theaters May 26th, 2017. So a couple of years from now is when we're going to get the next installment. So what's going to happen for the next 3 years or so is we're going to have a Star Wars movie every year. Awesome! That is just amazing news to me. I love it. I love it. I really do. It's something that I've always loved ever since this figure. Well, not this one in particular, but this character's figure. The original figure I have over there. This is a collectible version of it. It's not going away anytime soon. In fact, I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, yeah, my feed was dominated by this news, and I think it's amazing news. Last week, there was controversy in the Star Wars universe with, I guess, one of the characters not really coming out as an LGBT character, lesbian gay, bisexual, transsexual. Is that right? I don't know. I know what it is. I know generally speaking, these are, you know, people, different sexualities than mine. I'm what you would consider straight. Some people were upset by this, finding out that there's an LGBT character in the Star Wars universe. Does it matter? To me, absolutely not. You know, it's a galaxy far, far away. I say, you know what? There's probably way more sexuality things going on in the Star Wars universe than we can even figure out. We don't know, right? So I think I put that squarely in the realm of what is fine. I'm okay with that. Some people would not be. I think it's just going to be something that we accept. That's it. But I'd say that about everybody in general. If you're a good person, you know, and you treat each other with respect, you're leading a good life, you're not, you know, finding your own happiness at the cost of somebody else's, I'm on your side. Trust me. I don't care where you are, who you are, what you are. You know, we can be friends and not even have anything in common. Kind of bizarre, isn't it? That's how friends used to be back when I was a kid. You know, we didn't have fancy things like the internet. If we wanted this TIE Fighter figure right here, not this one because it wasn't available. This one's in particular when I was a kid, but they had a different version of the TIE Fighter pilot available, the classic Kenner version. You had to trade, or you had to find it in a store. You had to trade, and your friends were less likely to be based on shared interests like they might be these days, and more based on location. Like you went to school with these people, they became your friends. You may have shared a similar interests and hobbies, or possibly not. Friendship used to be different. It was largely based on location. Anymore, I wouldn't say that is the case at all, because if I have friends from around the world, or people I'd consider, you know, trustworthy people, good people, people I like, people that I would absolutely hang out with, we live nowhere near each other. So the friendship model's kind of flipped. We're still the same people. It's just all that's changed. So it's amazing to see people like myself. I spent so much time last night editing a video that's going to be published in the Classic channel, even though it's a little longer than normal. I spent a lot of time on it. It means it means a lot to me. I met 3 toy photographers a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago. Recorded the video, edited it, and then also used their art with permission in the video. I'm waiting for a post roll to come in from our producer, John, or one of our producers, and then I'm going to, you know, give it to them to say yes or no. I think they're going to say yes, and then I'll upload it for everybody to watch. But that means a lot to me, to find 3 fully functioning adults who share the same passion as I might with toy photography, even though I haven't really gotten into the whole toy photography thing. The only thing I've, you know, really been able to do is connect with people who do amazing production work. Oh, Jedi's gone. I thought she napped. I don't know if anybody's been watching my social feeds, but late last night I shared a collaboration in the vlogs channel, or the vlog channel, with James Chick. And James is The Chick's Life on YouTube. You'd see his link in that video's description. Not the most recent vlog upload, but it's a 6-second video. It's also on my Instagram feed. It's also on my Facebook feed. It's also on my Vine feed. If you missed it, you're not paying attention. I'm going to go ahead and play, well, let's see here. I'm going to decrease the brightness a bit so you can actually see it. Hopefully the audio will come out loud and clear. Yes, it's my daughter Jedi wielding a lightsaber. James animated the lightsaber sound and the blade, the animation of the blade and the glowing of the blade. All I did was record Jedi wielding her Similac bottle around. It was kind of funny. I'm like, hey, can anybody turn this into a lightsaber thing? And I reached out to James. He said, sure. It was a 6-second long video. Hilarious, dude. Hilarious. You can wield a lightsaber because you're back for the moment and smiling. Well, you can't have a real one yet. That's possibly dangerous. We're going to keep you to Similac bottles for now, okay? Boy, you know, you kind of get her excited talking about, you know, weapons of Jedi, and she's ready to go. Yeah, you are. So, watch that video. It looks a lot better on your screen than it did on mine because I've got a different kind of color correction here going on. So, yeah, that was fun. I wish we could do that every day. I'm not a video editor guy. I really isn't. I'm more a fan of words because I really isn't.
You could be.
I could be. I did some pretty nifty. I was impressed. Now, a classic video editor, after you see the effects that I did, would say, "Oh God, that would take me like 2 seconds." I'm like, well, it took me an hour because This is not what I do necessarily.
Well, I had to learn too, right?
Everyone has to learn. Yeah. I figured it out. I was like, this is what I think I can do with it, and it worked. Wait until you see it. Even if you're not interested in toy photography, I think you're going to find it a fascinating subject, and I don't think you can help but be impressed by the art that they're sharing. So, next, I wanted to talk about... Boy, there's a lot of Star Wars stuff that I wanted to cover here today. That's like half my feed. Not all the feed. Trust me, I've got some stuff for all you computer gurus out there. Stay tuned. Here, just a second. Got to get this out of the way. I backed another Kickstarter project. The Universe Expanded Kenner's 1998 Star Wars action figures. This would have been a series of figures that didn't really... Well, they no longer belong in canon, but they didn't belong in the original trilogy of films. This is... I believe this would have been before the prequels were produced. So, or right around the same time when they were still available in stores. I didn't really latch onto them, but when I found out that this guy was compiling a professional book, like hardcover and everything, doing research and collecting information about these figures, I backed it. In fact, I told him, because a part of the bonus structure was you get a couple of other books, action figures not included, and, there's another one, like a phrase that we'd always hear. We seem to have grown up at the same time with toys, and how, and one of the books that he wrote talks about how we got addicted to these things. You know, how marketers got us addicted and why we love figures, which may not make much sense for people who are younger than us at this stage. But it would be very, very fascinating to read into that, if only to understand my own psychopathy when it comes to why I like these pieces of plastic. So I backed the project. I got the link for you in the video description, as well as other links. But this was something that when I reached out on Twitter, I said, I want this bonus and these other 2 bonuses, but you don't have a tier for that. So he added the tier, and he pinged me back, and so I signed up for that tier. So I'm going to get I get an ad, I guess a sponsor ad or something, my name in the book or something. Okay. Even though I didn't really collect the figures, I'm like, cool. So I may like put my Twitter handle in there or something, like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I may write, I'm a professional adult kid, and people might follow me. They may learn about me through the book. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, that's a Kickstarter project I backed. I talk about all kinds of things that I don't back, which is like most of those things out there. Okay, so let me just like clear all the Star Wars news off the table before continuing. There was an app that was released, and I downloaded it because I got the email notification from Topps. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and launch it. It's called the Star Wars Card Trader from Topps. And you download the app. It is free, but there are in-app purchases, and that's really what I wanted to talk about. Okay, I need to sign in again because I deleted the app, but I re-downloaded it to be able to demonstrate it here. Not that I need to, actually. Okay, let's sign in. I'll just do that because I mean, the idea of these types of apps is you can collect virtual cards, which is kind of neat, but at the same time, not very compelling at all. I ended up tweeting I got a daily reward. I received 25,000 credits for my daily reward. Cool. My reward. Star Wars Beginner Award. Oh, I got an R2-D2. Oh, 1,000 points? This is how they get people hooked. Oh, I got an R2-D2. Okay, so I get a little widget on my screen. And I'm a part of the Galactic Empire. That's what I decided. I have 29 awards available. 15 cards collected. I've only collected less than 2% of the cards that are available, because you can either buy cards or trade with others. I think that it's like the idea is it's just like a social network of card trading on the phone or through the app. I'd imagine it's also available on the iPad or potentially Android devices. So I tweeted this out and I said, if I'm going to collect, I'm going to get the real thing. If I'm going to spend money or any amount of time on something, why would I want an image on a screen? I want the real thing. Like, as far as this goes, as far as spending money on things. Now, I'll pay for bonus content. No doubt about it. I'm all about that. Hell, I got this whole setup here for the Super Nomies. You're all my Nomies. Super Nomies get bonuses. It's just something I give more of myself to people who, give more of themselves back. So it's a whole wonderful little circle of life there. So it's not a question of me not wanting to pay for things. It's a question of what am I paying for? And if I'm spending one of the things you can unlock is like $75 or something. I'm like, $75 on virtual cards? I mean, what things that could disappear in an app. I mean, it's not like they're saying this content is not available anywhere else. It's a digital image. So I tweeted that out. I don't think anybody really understood what the hell I was tweeting, but that was specifically in reference to that. Why I would pay for that kind of thing. I've done in-app purchases before. I absolutely have. The last in-app purchase I think I did was Crossy Road. I haven't played that in a while. I got hooked on Dwelp though. I'm on level 61 on Dwelp at this stage. Fun little casual game. That's my new favorite, Dwelp. I pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. But I'm stuck on level 61. I may need to look up how to get past it. So to me, it's kind of like when Topps released a few weeks ago, last week, week before, they released basically poster art, like a metal poster of this particular wax pack. I mean, it's huge, larger version of this. Not original necessarily. It's just a print blown up on metal. And I ended up doing research, and I found this original wax pack with the Star Wars trading cards online, and I was like, well, why would I spend how much, like 4 times the amount for something that's unoriginal, that's just a print on the wall, when I could pay, a quarter, 3/4 less, and have something original, something that has some amount of value, inherent value, at least not just to me from sentimental value, but also it's physical. It's something that I have in my collection. So I've got that, and it'll sit side by side with this. I may have to then look to get, since there's a Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back wax packs, and then I'll have to find the Darth Vader cover for Return of the Jedi. I think they released those as well. But anyway, I'm very careful about, what I choose to get. I'm very, very careful. And as much as I'm very much looking forward to the Darth Vader cereal, I guess Star Wars cereal, Darth Vader's on the cover, and then it looked like R2-D2 below it. The Killian00 on Twitter tweeted this yesterday. And I tagged not every one of the Star Wars people that I knew, but a lot of the Star Wars people that I knew, asking, have you seen this? Do you know where this is at? Because he hasn't responded. I don't know where to get the Star Wars cereal, and it's new. There's the older Star Wars cereal. I'm not talking about that. The only Star Wars cereal that I'm trying to figure out how to get a hold of, like a full box of, not an open box or anything. There's a series of cereals called Golden Mills in Mexico. I guess that's the brand. And they had Star Wars cereals last year, and Darth Vader was on one of them. And I've been watching for that, and I've yet to find it. I also have this new Disney pin. It's a new one, Humbug. Sithmas, Mary Sithmas, Darth Vader on it. Why would I collect a virtual pin? I want a physical pin. You can tell it's an official Disney pin, which is a thing, by the way. People love trading these because it's got the little Mickey back on it. That's how you know it's a thing. This is a thing. Pin collecting is huge. Huge. That's why I limit myself. Because if I don't limit myself, I'll get in big trouble. Thank goodness there are not a lot of AT-AT drivers to collect. I'd be in big trouble. I'd have to figure out what I was going to do. So I think I've pretty much covered about everything that I wanted to cover in the realm of Star Wars to this point. I will say that Frozen 2 has been announced in an annual shareholder event. Maybe a big deal for you if you're a Frozen nerd, geek, fan, whatever you call yourself. Frozen 2, there's no signs of slowing down, but it better not suck. I don't think it will. I hope it won't. Otherwise, I think the gravy train will have effectively stopped. But I can't imagine them not pulling out all stops. In fact, probably going all in, like they're likely doing with The Force Awakens. The next few years with Star Wars. I'm kind of getting jealous of the MCU at this stage. You've got Marvel Studios, and just Marvel in general is a part of Disney, producing these amazing series. I've talked about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, Daredevil starting soon on Netflix. Also, what is it? AKA... Oh, God. AKA... Hang on, I've got this in my TV app. I'll tell you. It's another series that's starting on Netflix. AKA... I want to say Peggy or Jenny? Jenny Jones? No, not her. As soon as it loads, it doesn't want to load. I'm just stuck at the wait screen. Okay, well, anyway, there's another Marvel series that's going to be produced at some point in the near future. I don't think the date's been announced. Jessica Jones. I was close. I said Jenny. Jessica, aka Jessica Jones. Supergirl's coming, of course. That's DC, but a lot of this is happening, and I like how Marvel's approaching it because they're not sticking within just with one character within a series of characters. It's the MCU, and I think Disney, if they do it right, they'll do the same thing with Star Wars. In fact, that's one of the things that may have some fans upset. The breakout films are going to be about characters that are in the Star Wars universe, but not necessarily characters that we would have previously known. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't have an issue with it at this stage. It just creates further fandom for everybody. Okay, so I did promise that I have something for all you computer people out there. Hopefully you're still with me. I didn't realize it was going to be so Star Wars heavy, honestly, today. But that's really huge news. Even if you don't like Star Wars, it's still a big deal. It's kind of like, even if you don't like computers, it's still a big deal. Even if you don't like tech, it's still a big deal. The thing I wanted to ask, if you're an IT professional or you deal with computer troubleshooting and you help people with their computer problems, we're looking for your stories. Funny stories, outrageous stories, something that you went through, something you had a customer call, you had a client call, and you couldn't believe this was happening, or it was just hilarious, something that you went through yourself. You, yourself, relate the story. What we're doing is we're compiling all of the stories from you. We're doing this in conjunction with Canon. They're giving away an imageCLASS printer, which is a color printer that they have. And then they're also going to potentially publish your story on their website that they're setting up for IT professionals. So if you're an IT pro, or if you know an IT pro, if you are a computer troubleshooter, if you help people with their computer problems, we're going to want you to submit your story. We're going to be posting something on LockerGnome.com. You can submit your comment there. That'll be the easiest way, probably. I'm also going to be posting, possibly within the next day or so, a video I just recorded, basically giving the same kind of pitch for IT professionals looking for your crazy computer support stories or something like that. And I think that many of you are filled with mini stories. So I'm asking for that. They're asking for our help and, giving away this printer at the same time, which, could be valuable for you. Or, getting published in Canon's Get Through It or Get Through IT, their new content hub that they're developing. Anyway, that's your call to action right there. Submit your stories. Come on. You can't tell me, unless, I've lost everybody at this point with the Star Wars talk. You can't tell me that you don't have one story. I have to think really hard because I don't support people in that way, but I know a lot of people do. A lot of people out there in this community. They're IT pros. I like meeting people who kind of get roped into those positions because sometimes that's how they found me originally. They were looking for help or information that I had that I've shared at any point in the past because, they were the geek in the group, and they're like, well, you're the IT professional now. Can you help us with these computer problems? And then they were looking for tools to help them figure out how to solve the problems for their clients or for their coworkers, the employees. Sony is going to be closing down its failed PlayStation mobile platform. It was news, but it wasn't really news to me. I mean, it was kind of news-ish to me. Not even newsy. I thought it was gone. Apparently, it didn't fare that well. And if you bought games through it, sorry. Oh well. But, that speaks to what I was talking about earlier with the digital or virtual cards, The app might disappear at some point in the future. The virtual cards, they're images, right? And you get the prestige, and I like building virtual points when I can. But again, you have to wonder, well, what do you want? What do you want most? And Sony had a chance. But they're slipping further and further away from engaging their customers in a way that the customers would want to be engaged. I want to see Sony further embrace alternative platforms, Android, iOS, and get their games out there. I say the same thing about Nintendo. I know some people would argue, no, the value of Nintendo, blah, 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 blah. I think Nintendo's got a big thing with their amiibos. Or amiibo? What's the plural for amiibo? I'm not going to start any collection of amiibo. I guess that's a thing. People collect amiibo. I swear I'm the only person out there who does not play the Wii or have an amiibo. I think I'm the only person. I don't game in that way. I just don't. I don't even want to play a virtual Star Wars game. It would take a lot to pull me back in. Even the Battlefront, the reboot they're doing with that, or I think it's a reboot. Battlefront 2. Wasn't there a Battlefront years ago? I never played it. Never got into it. Never did. It'd be fun, but ultimately, I don't know. Maybe when Jedi's older, I might kind of get into it, especially if she gets into something, I might get into something with her, but, at this stage, it's not for me. I'd rather have the physical things around me. So, usually, not always the case, Not always. Because I'm different when it comes to media. If I know, and I believe the brand's going to be around for a while. I'm, renting access to music, Spotify or whatever, or I'm, renting access to video or whatever. It's very, very, just got an update, a very important update. That's what you see back there that just popped up about Gnome Decks. That's awesome. Gnome Decks, our event that we're doing for geeky and nerdy YouTubers, which is a lot like Vlogger Fair, but just for geeks and nerds. So Vlogger Fair for the family vloggers, and the lifestyle vloggers, and then Gnome Decks will be for the people who want to geek out with other geeks and nerds who use social to connect with other people. On Instagram, so I hope to invite toy photographers. In fact, I should ask them. Because that'd be really, really cool to have their displays, things on display and actually photographing something. Photographing? Can I say that? I just did. Okay, next on my list. This was kind of a neat bit of news. Oh, I did forget this Star Wars thing as well. There's part 2 that's been posted to Padme did not die of a broken heart. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago when it was originally posted by Joey Kenobi? Joey One Kenobi on Twitter. He wrote it for RetroZap, and then he did a follow-up. And I like the follow-up because it's closer to my theory of how Padme may have died, and it really fits. It really is, it's outstanding. It almost belongs in a Cliff's Notes version of Revenge of the Sith. I accept it as far as I'm concerned as canon. It's a very cogent argument about Padme's death at the end of episode 3, which wasn't my favorite episode. I enjoyed parts of it, but it missed on a lot of fronts for me. But yeah, fantastic read. If you hate the prequels, if you love the prequels, you know anything about Star Wars, it was a good read. The Simpsons. This was a big thing, especially for someone like me. The Simpsons Quickie Mart has officially been announced, an exclusive Lego set, as well as a new series of Lego minifigures coming in May 2015. So coming soon. I'm more looking forward to the minifigures than anything. The Quickie Mart looks to have, like 2,000 some odd pieces. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to get it. The Simpsons house, absolutely. But a lot of the minifigures that came with it, apart from Snake's the only unique minifigure in that set. I mean, they've got different, heads, or I guess bodies, not just necessarily heads. But the Quickie Mart is mostly got unique pieces, and it looked like a couple of stickers. But the new series looks to be impressive, despite there, again, being repeat characters. There's so many characters in the Simpsons universe. Why did they have to repeat Homer and Marge and Bart, even though the way they repeated Marge has, in the new series, has got lipstick. Bart is Bartman, or, no, wait, was it Bartman or El Barto? Bartman was the name of the dance, right? El Barto was his character. Milhouse is Fallout Boy, I think is what he was dressed up as. Maggie looks the same. Lisa's in a different dress, and she comes with Snowball too. And then Maggie comes with Santa's little helper. So yeah, and then some other characters like Professor Frink. Very much looking forward to that as well. Martin is in there. So anyway, there's some good minifigures coming in that series. Of course, I'll be getting them. That's a given. I also should say, while I've got the chance, I got these today, 20% off. I tweeted 3 days ago, you could get these sets 20% off on Amazon. Of course, you could use your gift cards, go.tagjag.com/free apps and go.tagjag.com/free points to earn free gift cards. 20% off. So it's like I got this for less than free. This was is Ezra's speeder bike. Wanted it if only because of the Sabine minifigure. Everything else, all the bricks were a bonus. I may assemble it and do a video depending on if people want it. Of course, another Stormtrooper minifigure. It doesn't hurt. Ezra's lightsaber looks unique, but there's nothing really unique about it. And then, also at 20% off, something else that I didn't have, the T-16 Skyhopper. Not the first one they produced, but I wanted this specifically for the Tusken Raider. Not the first Tusken Raider. The classic Tusken Raider Lego minifigure has the round head. This has a more uniquely shaped head, which some Lego collectors don't like at all. But I don't mind them. Like the Simpsons minifigures have unique heads. Some more of a softer plastic. That doesn't really bother me as much as it might bother other people. Okay, so what else do I have in the news? Apart from Lego and Star Wars, this was my. You gotta come on, give this to me. This is my day. This was my day. Every other day, it's all just tech, and this is my day. Let me bask in this moment. You may also want to know this that okay, Frozen did that one. The free app of the week on the App Store was released today. This is something that of course, I love because A, it was free. It was absolutely worth getting. But also at a deeper level, give me a second. Can I play the thing? I usually keep my phone on mute. It's called 8-Bit Doves. It is free, and it looks like a classic Game Boy game. Oh, man. This sucks. An ad played. I might delete it. If it plays an ad like that, I usually delete the game. Okay, so how did I do this before? So basically, it's kind of like... So you play it. You play it. Go ahead, play it. It's free. Well, for now. There are in-app purchases as well. Seems like you get an unlimited amount of lives until you get through the stage. And there are many stages. Oh. I didn't crash there. Oh. Oops. What the hell? Oh. The axis got... Okay. Anyway, download that. It's the free app this week. Also, Starbucks has got their free app, which I downloaded. Swingtail. That's something to get. Also, in Starbucks, if you can get to Starbucks, Gray Cubes is a free app redeem code for like a 3D breakout. So there you go. 3 games that would normally cost you money. I just told you how to get for free right now. I hope people are happy. You know, you lasted this long. There's a bonus for everybody. Also a free game for everybody. And I'm going to save the other announcements for tomorrow, I think. CardsAgainstOriginality.com is where you can go right now to play Cards Against Humanity with your friends on your phones. And I don't think it's anything that you install. I think it's everything that you need. I haven't actually pulled it up on the phone, but I linked it, and we'll put it in the video description. But there's another free game for you. If you've never played Cards Against Humanity, this might be fun for you. Cards Against Originality is not working. Okay. Did they take it? Well, then never mind. I thought it was going to work. Oh, there it is. It's working there. Why isn't it working here? Cards, same link, same damn link. Okay, it's working on my... I guess I had to refresh it. Okay, there we go. Cards Against Originality. So it explains how you play the game and how you can play it with friends and everything. So you can start playing Cards Against Humanity with other people. We may end up doing this in future videos, hangouts with other people when we get raucous. Because we can do it virtually now instead of having to have the physical cards in front of us. Good game, fun game, but definitely for adults. So I think that's pretty much everything I need to cover today. I want to roll into the patron hangout, which you are more than welcome to join. If you're one of our supernomies, because supernomies equals patrons. I call my patrons my supernomies. You're all my nomies. Supernomies just get bonuses like hangouts every single weekday. So you can join us starting at $2 a month. Very, very reasonable. Thank you for your support. I do love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.